Hey everyone, I'm Tzachi from FlyCode. I'm here with Maria from Artlist. We just finished a panel in the Money TLV a conference. We spoke about payment recovery. Maria, I hosted the panel and I wanted to ask her a few questions. So Maria, what is the things that merchant needs to know or understand about payment recovery?
I will tell you what, I think that first of all, different merchants are in different stages of their life and life cycle. But they need to start with the basics, okay, especially if it's small merchants. First of all, they need to understand what are the error codes that they're getting. What is the overall percentage of errors that they're getting? They need to understand what is the difference between soft declines and hard declines, so they better understand the potential of the recovery they have. And just a spoiler, you should have more soft declines than hard declines, right? If you have lots of hard declines, you should talk to your providers and check out why this is happening. And then as they go and they evolve, they really should look into how to recover the payments. It can start with something in-house, something very simple and basic just to see how it goes. And then you can go on and look for the right provider that fits your needs. I think, the most work merchants need to do is with themselves.
As we kind of prepared to the conference and you spoke with all the speakers, what was the thing that kind of surprised you over time? So you have a lot of experience in payments, so not a lot of surprises, but what still you think will surprise merchants to learn about payment recovery?
Well, I think that this thing that we heard about, that they're in payment process, there can be multiple bugs and multiple things that are very hard to identify. But for example, they gave this example of a merchant who was getting lots of chargebacks, even though they had 3DS, and then they found that they had a bug in the 3DS process.
Yeah.
Right? So this happens all the time. Sometimes it's very hard to find this trend in the data. I think, data-driven approach is extremely important for merchants. All the time, check your data and all the time ask for benchmarks from your providers. Tell them, merchants similar to us, what's the error rate? How many chargebacks they get, and so on and so forth, so you can see what's going on. If you're not in the benchmark, when this is your sign that you need to dig deeper, understand what's going on, right? Other things, that are interesting to hear, it's really, that even bigger merchants, like we always think, small startups, they don't have the team, they don't have the capability, but we also see that bigger merchants, the bigger they get, and especially when it's this growth explodes, there are some platforms that grow very, very fast. They don't have enough capacity to get to all the things that they have in the payments world. It's always sort of gets pushed back. And then they're losing lots of money. So the revenue goes. They goes because they don't do dunning, because they don't add new tools, because they don't do correct chargeback recovery, because they're not trying to prevent chargebacks the right way, or because maybe they're preventing too much, the tools are not tuned. And this is true to all sizes. So I think that, again, the merchants need to look inside themselves, look for benchmarks, and do this work, divide the payments flows and step by step check every flow.
Okay. And last thing, we spoke about AI and agentic commerce. What excites you the most? What person don't really understand yet about agentic commerce?
I think it's super exciting. I think that for merchants, it will be so hard for us to balance. How can, today, if I'm asking my, fraud person on the team, what's going on with the bots? It's fraud, block. And all of a sudden you have the good bots and the bad bots. And how do you know who is the good bot? And the good bot, he's a bot. He's not a person. So your expectation of how he will behave on your pages, he doesn't even go to your pages. He gets all the information by API, right? So before we said, how the customer sees the page. Is it under the fold, over the fold, does he see the pop-up? It's not relevant anymore if it's a bot. So you need to split your attention now into these two worlds and to think both, how do I sell to people versus to how do I sell to bots? And also how do I manage fraud when there is a person present and this is the person behavior on the page versus the bot behavior. Is this a good bot or a bad bot? Like what Zach said from checkout, right?
Yeah.
You need tokens that still can give you some identity of the customer so that you still be able to connect it to all the procedures that we have today in the fraud world. I think these are the challenges and I think these are the most exciting things and the most frightening things.
Cool. I'm going to interview Maria next month for a full episode on our podcast, so stay tuned. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Maria.